um, Mr. Khristian gets on board, we will get this party started. So, let's see. All right, there he is. This is going to be fun. There he is.
What's up, brother?
Dude, how you doing, man? Hold on, let me get
Um,
set up here. There we go.
all
All right.
right. All right.
Dude, how are you, man?
I'm amazing. Can you hear me well?
Yes, absolutely.
This is my first time ever doing this, ever.
Yeah? Hey,
Yeah,
I'm honored.
I'm honored. No one's ever asked me. No one's ever
Oh,
asked
man.
me.
This is great. Well, once again, thank you so much to everyone who's tuning in from Take Six Universe and around the world. We have the one and only Mr. Khristian Dentley from Take Six joining us for a whole hour. It's going to be
Nice.
great. I'm super excited, man. You know what? I was thinking about it today, and you and I have not like spoken one on one since like mid 2000s. You
Right.
know,
It's been a long time. Man, that was,
do you remember that podcast? Remember that?
dude, I think that was my first podcast.
Yeah. That
And
too?
it's just all of, yeah, man, listen, I'm glad somebody sees my potential. It's
I
you,
saw
man.
it then. I saw it
It's
then.
you, man.
Hey, listen, I think I'm the only one that can say that they actually had a Take Six member watch a concert with me in the front row. That was
Man,
you,
isn't that
bro.
crazy?
That was you.
Man, that
Oh
is
my goodness, man.
ridiculous.
Hey, so listen, it's great to see you. Great to catch up with you. I want to ask first and foremost, number one, how are you doing? How's everyone kind of, you and your family kind of dealing with this whole COVID-19 thing?
Man, first of all, I really appreciate the ask. This is sometimes we take for granted that, they're fine. This person's fine.
Yes,
I'm sure they have nothing to worry about, but
sure.
it hits everybody in a different way. I was looking at Kirk Whalem's page, I think last night,
Right.
and Kirk was saying this is hitting everybody different.
Yeah.
For some people, it's a sprinkle. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like this morning, I went to go, take the trash out, roll the big trash thing out to the street. It's sprinkling. No big deal. Just
Yeah.
a little wind. It's like refreshing, actually. I appreciate
Right.
this.
Right. Right.
For some people, it's a rainstorm,
Yeah.
and there's nothing like, having to change your tire in the middle of a rainstorm or so you got to go out and do something, that kind of thing. For
Sure.
other people, it's a hurricane. I live in Orlando, so Florida, we have our share of hurricanes, and that is, all hands on deck. You don't know what's going to happen. You board up your house and you pray and
Right.
um, you come out when it's over, or especially if the eye of the storm is going over your particular city, you come out and
Right.
assess the damage, and just enough time to go back in and hunker down some more, and you have to rebuild. So it's hitting everybody differently, and for me and my family, it's actually a really cool time. We just ended the Georgia on My Mind tour
Mhm.
just before everything popped off.
Yeah, I remember you guys had like two shows left, right?
We had two shows left, and we had to cancel those, and one of which was in Newberry, South Carolina, which is right outside of Columbia, South Carolina, where I was born and raised, and my mom and
Mhm.
everybody was coming to the show, and but we had to
Oh man.
cancel. So we got up that Friday, actually March 13th. So we left home on February the 6th, and uh, got the news on that morning of Friday, March the 13th. I was home
Right.
that night, and I love what I do, bro. I absolutely love that God has given me the grace and the favor to be a part of this incredible group and to travel around the world, just singing and putting smiles on people's faces and doing
Yeah.
podcasts for people that believe in me, um, and hugging people and signing autographs and just really, it's a really cool thing. But one of the things I never ever want to sacrifice is my family.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of times when we're on the road making everybody else smile, it's hard for us because sometimes we're not there to see the smiles on our families' faces. So this particular quarantine season has been honestly a time of regrouping. It's been a time of just locking into the fam, man. And
Sure.
it's you know, so it's really it's there's a scripture in the Bible, right, that says all things work together for good to them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So all is all. And that means that there's a way that COVID-19 and this quarantine season and all this other kind of stuff actually can work together for good to those who have the proper perspective. So it's been good, man. It's been tough. And I'll talk about some of the tough stuff since we got an hour.
Yeah.
It's tough when you've built your life since 2004. I started subbing for the amazing Cedric Dent in 2004. And I've built my life really on, being there with my brothers on the stages and stuff like that. And here it is 16 years later. And to watch the whole schedule come to a screeching halt is like, I said halt. It's halt.
Yeah.
Come to a screeching halt. But it's like, wait a minute. And then you have to reevaluate. It's like, dude, who am I without this? If this was not ever, what happens if we got two years before we were able to tour again? Who are you outside of that? And so a lot of regrouping. So that's tough, taking an introspective look at yourself and being like, man, if the phone's not ringing, I always tell people that, man, I'm just a little dude from South Carolina. I'm a regular guy. I'm a regular guy. I'm not a superstar. I'm not a celebrity and all this other kind of stuff. I know celebrities. I know some. But I'm not that. And so but even when you're not, and that what you know, just like a lot of people, bro, that today the new unemployment numbers came out. There's another 5 point something million people that are without jobs. What if your entire life, especially as a man, is tied to the work that you do? Who are you without it? Right. So I just want to be that dude who's an amazing guy. He's a kind, friendly guy who is a great husband to my wife, a great father to my son, regardless of whether, I'm up or down.
Yeah, it really is, what you said about perspective. Am
I getting dark? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. You're right. It is, this really has forced everybody to look at everything in a new perspective and all that. You're totally right, because, for instance, like my wife, she's a restaurant manager.
Oh, wow.
So when she's working and she's home, I'm like, honey, relax, stop moving around, just chill, and she doesn't know how to do that because she's not used to that. She's always constantly going and going. Now with this COVID-19 thing, she can't work, and now she's forced to be in the house, to not do anything. And it's like, it's a huge adjustment,
My dad has a saying that I absolutely love, and he says, if you don't find rest will find you.
Yeah. That's good.
If you don't find rest will find you. And for a lot of people, man, rest is finding them. Think about this, bro. There are husbands who have not paid attention to their wives in years.
Yeah.
There are fathers who they are totally content with sending their kids off to school and letting the teachers and stuff like that worry about that. And they drop them off. All right, have a good day. And they pick them up after school or after care or sports or whatever. And
right.
You did your homework? All right, get something to eat. Time to go to bed, and they're so detached. This is an opportunity for people to lock back into what's actually important. Because the truth is, man, Starbucks ain't important.
Yeah.
The golf game, not important.
Mm-hmm.
When you got to get in there and you got to do math and science and social studies with your 10-year-old, it's like, and now you're realizing, oh, okay, so you're easily distracted. Dude, you dropped your pencil 17 times in the last 2 minutes. I don't. Right. Do you do this in school? It's like, notice.
Yeah.
There are wives that have been begging for their husbands to give them some attention, to just be
Hmm.
around. And I appreciate the fact that you got friends that you can go out with and hang out with and relax with and stuff like that. But what about me?
Yeah.
And it doesn't require date night. It doesn't
Right.
require us going out on the town or whatever. Can you just be in the room with me and have a conversation like we used to
Yeah.
back in the day and laugh and
Oh,
just
sure.
remind ourselves of how much we love each other? Dude, this
Hmm.
is a wonderful, a wonderful blessing for a lot of
Yeah.
people. Unfortunately, at the same time, it's costing a lot of people a lot of things to include their lives and the
Right.
lives of their loved ones. And that's a really, really hard pill to swallow, man. And my prayer is that God would comfort those people, especially because it's one thing if a family member of yours passes away through disease or whatever. There's a whole other thing if you can't get to them to celebrate their life. You can't
Yeah.
go to the funeral. You can't, honor them properly, so to speak, or whatever. So this is changing a lot of things, and my
Hmm.
heart is burdened for those people as well. But I just kind of feel like on the other side, man, though there are thorns, there's a rose.
Yeah. No, we'll get through it. I'm very confident that this is just going to be a slow and steady process, but we'll be all right.
Yeah,
I'm not too worried about it.
that's good.
Um, well, hey, listen, let's talk about some good stuff here.
Let's dive in. Let's go.
I know the story, but I would like you to tell the story of how you got involved with Take Six, and how that process was. There's a bunch of questions on Take Six Universe that we'll get to that, but let's start first with the history of Khristian and how you got into Take Six.
All right, cool. So I have to start at the genesis, and I
Yeah.
remember years and years and years ago, my uncle. It was Christmas time. I was living in Columbia, South Carolina at the time. My uncle came to. We all met at my grandfather's house, and he pulled up, and he had this.
Oh, I think we. Oh, there it goes. You're back. No, you're back. That's
Pulled
fine.
out the CD, and all we heard was, "On down that tell us good tidings to Zion, get up." And I'm like, I'm a kid. I'm like,
Hmm.
what is this? It
Yeah.
was amazing. That was my first introduction to Take Six, and
Hmm.
and so I was a fan since then. I remember, dude, I was just listening to the So Cool record a couple of days ago, and
Yeah.
I remember being in high school when that came out, and my friend Lashana Mickens um, let me borrow her CD, and I wore that thing out. Oh my
Yeah.
God, it was amazing! It was amazing. So I've been a fan forever. Fast forward to the year 2000, and I'm living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at the time, and this concert's coming to town. It's called the Glaxo Welcome Tour. Take
Hmm.
Six, Fred Hammond, Yolanda Adams, and Dawkins and Dawkins. And so it was at the Sunrise Musical Theater. Now, that same year, my dad had started a ministry in Fort Lauderdale.
Hmm.
And we didn't have, I mean, all of our finances were going towards, the ministry and all this other kind of stuff. So
Sure.
didn't have money to go to the concert. But
Right.
2 years before that, somebody gave me a Fred Hammond shirt. A friend of my mom's gave me a Fred Hammond shirt. And so the morning that the concert was, I got up really early. I put my Fred Hammond shirt on and went down to the theater. And I just sat in the parking lot. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea what I was doing, bro. Went down to the theater and sitting in the parking lot. And
I love this
the
story. I know it. Go ahead.
uh,
This is great.
so while I'm sitting there in the parking lot, the union workers show up
Yeah.
and they see my shirt and thought I was with Fred. And so they were like apologizing to me. Sorry, we're late. We apologize and da 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 whatever. And I'm like, okay, okay, cool, no problem. And they asked me, you want to come in and get some breakfast? I'm like, sure,
Yeah.
indeed.
Free food. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, man. If nothing else, I got some free food, free breakfast. Get in there. We're just, eating breakfast. I'm just waiting around. I don't even know what's happening. It's just a cool moment for me. I'm just taking it all in. A little while later, somebody comes up to me. Well, the bay door opens up and all of the backline gear gets there. Now I
Hmm.
know the official term is backline. All I saw was a bunch of boxes and musical
Sure.
chairs
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Backline gets there, and the guys come up to me and they say, "Okay, so what do you want us to do with all this stuff?" I was like, dude, before I could even think, I said, "Did we send a fax?" I said, "Fax? Fax?" Dude, I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know where it came from. The dude goes in the office, looks on the fax machine, and the writer is on the fax machine.
Oh, no way.
Crazy.
Dude, that's called destiny. Oh
Dude, it
my
was
goodness.
destiny. It was
Yeah.
destiny, bro. Speaking of destiny, um, you know that song, Destiny
Yeah.
by Takes It. I'll be
Hmm.
with you. Anyway, that was another great song that I love. But anyway, so the guy comes back and he has the rider, and I'm calling the shots. I'm like, hey, you take that over there. Two of those over there. And I'm setting because I'm a musician. I'm setting up stuff, and this is really cool, you know.
So
So
yeah, because you knew what all this stuff does. So yeah.
I know what it does, and I'm like, okay, I can read this and say, okay, these are drums, and I need those to go there. I need this one, that one, da 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 da. And I was a big Fred Hammond
Wow.
fan, so we were setting it up for Fred's band.
Oh my
Crazy,
God.
crazy. So while I'm on stage setting up the gear, the door opens aside, the stage door opens up, and Fred's band walks in. Well, they see my shirt, but they also see me that I'm working, and they think that I'm one of the union workers who's a fan. So they're
Right.
like, "Yo, bro, yeah, man, that's cool. That's what's up. You want to have lunch with us?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, indeed, indeed." So if nothing else, bro, I got breakfast and lunch.
Oh
Can I get to hang
man.
out with Fred's band? That's what's up. So
Right.
we're doing eating lunch or whatever, and then we go in. I'm sitting in there sound checking. It's amazing. Really connect with Noel Hall and Marvin McQuitty, who was Fred's drummer at the time, and who
Hmm.
became really good friends. And but Fred's percussionist wanted to go back to the hotel, so I'm like, okay, cool. I got a car. I'll take you because I told him what was going on. I told him I got a car. I'll take you back to the hotel. But when we get to the door to leave, the door opens up before we get there, and Take Six walks in, and I am starstruck. I'm like,
Oh boy. Okay.
and so I asked him, bro, do you mind if I really just want to just talk to them for a second? He's like, no, no sweat, no problem.
Hmm.
So he said, I'll just ride with somebody else or catch a cab or something like that. Uber
Okay.
didn't exist then.
Yeah.
Um, so me and Mark clicked right away. And having met Mark, bro, he's one of the most genuine souls
Oh yeah. He's
ever.
watching, by the way. So
Mark was watching this?
he's watching this.
Dude, one of the most genuine. He said something to me that I will never ever forget that night. So we're sitting on one of the crates that have all of the cables and stuff on stage.
Right.
Fred walks right by. So Mark is just literally just sitting there chopping it up, and that's when I ask him if it's okay for me to keep in touch with him or whatever. And so he gives me his email address, and so
Hmm.
I'm like on cloud nine.
Yeah.
Fred walks by us, getting ready to go out and do his set, and while he's walking by, Mark like nudges me and he points to Fred and said, "That's gonna be you one day. That's gonna be." And Mark didn't. That was my first day ever meeting him. He said, "That's gonna be you one
Wow.
day." And moment was a defining moment for me in my life because here's somebody that doesn't even know me and they see something in me. Um,
Yeah.
and so the concert went on. It was great, but like maybe about halfway through Fred's set, two of the union workers came and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, man, our boss wants to see you."
Oops.
Okay, indeed. Go into the boss's office, and the boss says, about halfway through the show, we ask around and we realize that you're not with anybody here. But
Right.
since Florida is a right to work state, sign this W-9 because we by law have to pay you for the work that you did today. I signed a W-9. Dude hands me a check for like 300 and something bucks, and that was the night. I went home. I
Go on.
got left. I left home with a Fred Hammond shirt and determination. I got back home having Mark Kibble's email address.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Breakfast.
I can hear
You
you, but
Can you still hear me? Am I moving?
it's still
Am I
loading.
stuck?
Yeah. Let's see. There you go. Now you're back. Yeah. Well, I can't hear you though. Let's see. No, can't hear you. No. Let me see. You know what we'll do? First time that this has ever happened. Maybe I can. I'll probably just go back. Let me cut. I'm gonna cut you, and I'll bring you back. All right. Hold up. Let's see. Let's see what we can do here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll put him, and then we're gonna go back, and we're gonna find him because we're having a nice conversation here. Let's see. Let's see if we can get him back. Let's see. We might have lost Mr. Dentley. Oh, sorry about that, guys. All right. You know what I'll do is I'll go ahead and sign off. I'm sorry for those who are watching. I'm going to sign off for a second, and then we'll come right back. All right, y'all. We are back. Let's see if we can get Mr. Dentley to come back online here. Hello. So we had a little difficulty, so I had to start it back up again so that maybe we can get Khristian back on the scene. Let's see, there he is. There you are. Sorry about that. Hold on one second.
That is my first time. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right, let me get back up here.
I apologize. I lost half the church.
Oh, it was a good story too, man. It's a good story. Hold on. All right. So,
all right, we back.
Yep. So let's see here. So you know what that means? You get about another 20 minutes now, because now I had to
There you go.
start the feed all over again.
So come on, church. Come on up in here, church.
Right.
So like I said, I ended off with saying I left the house with a Fred Hammond shirt and just a dream.
Right.
I get back to the house with Mark Kibble's email address and a check for $300 and something, and I was not to be stopped. That was in the year 2000. Now, what happens next is really important.
Okay.
Fast forward to 2004, and I'm really discouraged about my life. After that big mountaintop experience or whatever, I just figured, dude, my musical career, I've always had a dream to do this. It's going to take off. You know, I've been sending Mark, emails every now and then just to not bugging him at all. Just, hey, man, I see you guys are in Poland. Stay warm. Or, hey, man, I hope to go to Brazil one day, too. Maybe, whatever.
Sure.
Just encouraging him, and that's just my nature. I'm an encourager by nature, right? So, 4 years later, I'm finding myself at a call center at a job that I consider to be a dead end job or whatever, and the trajectory of my life had gone totally different than I had expected. And so I sent Mark an email one day, and I was like, hey, man, do you mind if I send you a song to critique for me? And I was very specific. This is not a demo, but this is just, I want to just know if I have something to work with, because if I don't, then I would rather switch gears now and do something else. And he was gracious enough to give me his mailing address and said, sure, send it on. Sent it to him in 2004, and I was having lunch with a buddy of mine at Wendy's. And I had a 10-piece chicken nugget, sweet and sour sauce with the.
It was epic. It was epic when you can remember the menu that you had in 2004.
I remember. Well, I'm a creature of habit, so whenever I go somewhere, I usually get. I don't even look at the menu. It's like, yes, give me the 10-piece chicken nugget, sweet and sour, 2 sweet and sour sauces with large fry and cherry Coke.
Spicy chicken sandwich right here, bro.
Spicy chicken is dope, but that 4 for $4, you can't beat it.
What? That's true.
Yes, that's a Wendy's plug. Pay us, Dave. No, just kidding.
Right?
So I'm sitting at Wendy's and my phone rings, and it's a Nashville number, and I answered the phone. Mark Kibble. He's like, hey, this is Mark Kibble. I got your package, man, and I got a couple of questions for you if you got a second. I was like, hey, man, I'm actually in a lunch meeting right now. You mind if I call you back? Because I was so nervous, I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Called Mark back. And he said, man, I have a question and 2 proposals. Write that song that you sent to me. And it had a lot. It's called Christmas Time. It's called Christmas Time. And I said, yeah, I did. I actually wrote that when I was 16. He said, and that's you did all the arrangements? I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, dude, I got 2 proposals for you. Number 1, I want you to consider co-writing on this youth choir record that I'm working on for my church in Nashville.
Okay.
And number two, I want you to consider traveling as a fill-in for Cedric Dent because he accepted a position at MTSU, and there's some dates that he just can't do. And I was like, well, let me pray about it, and I'll call you back and let you know. I hung the phone up, and I thank you, Jesus, amen. Then I called him right back. I was like, I'm in.
That's
I'm
great. So thank you, Jesus. I'm in.
Dude, that's the only prayer that needs to be prayed in that moment. And the reason why is because you've been waiting your whole life for this.
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot of people that are out there. Maybe, you know, it's one of the people that's watching now or whatever. Dude, there is coming a moment in time in your life where the thing that you've been waiting for is going to knock on your door. Because you're diligent, you've been faithful. Yeah, you might be now, whatever, but you put that work in.
Right.
You put that time in. I don't know if it's a relationship or a job or a promotion or whatever it is, but it's going to be a moment where that destiny is going to knock on your door. And when that happens, ain't nothing else to say but thank you, Jesus, amen, because you put that time in. And that was he asked me to have my passport. I was like, nah, I don't have my passport, dude. You need to get your passport because our first date is in Seoul, Korea with Marcus. It's like, went to Seoul. So I was cool because Mark drilled me, bro. Oh my gosh. As far as like, rehearsal and making sure I knew the parts and stuff. He was very, very thorough. Cedric was amazing because he sent me on my birthday. He didn't even know it was my birthday. Yeah. I still have this letter. August 18th, 2004. He sent me a letter that said, welcome to the family. And it had a couple of CDs in it with all of my breakouts, all of my parts of the stuff that I need to learn. Mark flew me to Nashville for a couple of days, and I spent time drilling with the guys and stuff. And so when Soul came, I was ready to roll. And it was cool. But right before we got on stage, I'm backstage on the side of the stage right. And the lady said, basically, ladies and gentlemen, take 6. Dude, my heart dropped through my pinky toe. That moment was just like, this is real. However, when I walked out on that stage, it was like a hand in a glove, bro. That I knew that from that. Now that moment I was born for it. And here it is all these years later, we still rocking, man. And God is faithful. We're doing some really cool stuff together. And I just pray that what I add to the group. Mark said another thing that changed my life. Another thing that set me at ease and made this thing cool. I was really nervous, man, because I was, I'm not Cedric, bro. By intonation, I know a lot of people have issues with me, and I was like, where's Cedric? I've had people ask me that at shows after shows. Where's Cedric?
Dude, are you serious?
I had one person. Oh, dude, come on, bro. Where's Cedric? I had this one lady come up to me after our show at Catalina's in LA. She literally said to me, I just want you to know that I'm a huge Cedric Dent fan.
Jesus.
I am too. Yeah. Nice to meet you. And so, those things are like they hurt, it's like and I'm not trying to replace anybody. I'm just trying to make sure that the group still is able to travel and be here when Cedric can't be here. So I'm doing everybody a favor, hopefully, Sure. But people didn't see it that way because they're married to the people that they love and the faces that they love to see. And
listen, there's still people that are asking, when's Merv coming back? So don't feel bad. Okay?
I get it. But let me tell you what Mark Kibble told me, bro. He was like, "Listen, Khristian, KD is what they call me. KD, you don't have to. We're not asking you to fill said shoes. We're asking you to bring your own pair." I was like, wow. Yeah. And that's what really set me free to just be myself. And I am grateful forever to Mark Winston Kibble, bro. Because God used that dude to change my life. The trajectory of my life changed the day when I met him at the Glaxo Welcome Tour. And he gave me his email address. And my life is so much better, so much richer, fuller. I cannot even imagine what I would have been doing or where I would be without God using that dude, man. And still to this day, to be partnered with him, man. And I love all the guys. I love all the guys. but Mark, man, that's my guy.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah.
guy, man.
I gotta ask you,
Forever.
now that obviously you've been there forever. You know, Jason from Facebook wants to know how long does it take you to learn your parts now? I mean, is it a well-oiled machine at this point? I mean, how's that process for you?
Well, at the beginning, it was really tough because I'm not singing the melody. I'm singing the hardest part, honestly, I think, which is the
Hmm.
baritone part. And my note is very, very critical.
Yeah.
And I make critical mistakes when a lot of times, but it does get easier. Again, that's one of our processes is
Hmm.
that Mark does breakouts and sends it to us. And to the degree that we study our part is the degree that we can execute well. And
Right.
so I make it a point to make sure that I do this group justice by making sure I'm studying my part, that I know what to do. I am a fast learner. I didn't learn how to play piano by being classically trained. So I
Hmm.
play by ear, and so that helps me so that I can hear where the chord is going. I can hear it in my head, and
Right.
and so I'm a quick learn. And because I'm baritone, Mark usually starts at the top note. He starts by teaching Claude his note, then he
Hmm.
goes down to Dave, then he goes to Joey, and by that time he's done this thing so many times, I already know where I'm supposed to,
You
so
you
I know where I'm supposed
almost
to
know where
land.
you need to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
yeah, it's
gotcha.
just
I
that.
gotcha.
So thank you for that question. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a good. That one's from Jason. He wanted to know, and he also wants to know where he can find your solo project.
I knew somebody was going to ask about that. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. This is because of quarantine season. Um, what I am going to do is, all right, if Jason gives you his mailing address, I'll send him all four of my projects.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I will put that in the system there. I'll let him know, and then
All four.
he
In
can do that
fact,
for you.
let's just do it for the first 10 people. First 10
First
people
10
that send you
people.
their email address. I mean their physical address. I will personally ship out all four of my projects, my
Look at
solo
that.
projects.
All right, people. So you know what to do. Go ahead and send me a DM right through here, right through Instagram, and I will do the first 10 that come through, and I'll send it to Mr. Dentley, and it'll be done.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Nice. Look
sir.
at that, winning prizes on here and everything. I love it. This is great. This is awesome. Wow.
Hey, when you own your product, you can do that.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
That's
Hey,
right.
well, here's a pretty good one. And this will let you go nice and deep. So Southern Mind wants to know, how has being part of Take Six helped you grow as a singer and as a musician?
How has being a part of Take Six helped
Mhm.
me grow as a singer and a musician?
Yeah.
Um, I I can only say that it's one thing to be an individual singer, an
Hmm.
individual musician. Um, it's a totally different thing to become a part of a group where you have a definitive part that's not the part
Hmm.
that's out the front. It
Yeah.
teaches you discipline, um, to hold your note. You're responsible for this part, and you're the only one that's singing it.
Hmm.
That means if it's not there, it ain't there.
It ain't
If
there.
it's
Yeah.
wrong, it's wrong. So, as a singer and a musician, being a part of Take Six has opened up my understanding to the fact that it ain't about me. It's not about me.
Hmm.
Um, it's about playing your part, playing your role to make this good. Our cars are dope. Everybody that has a car,
Hmm.
it's dope because there are people that don't have one. There's a part of your car that is called the lug nut. No one cares about the lug nut until you're driving down the highway at 65 miles an hour and it pops off.
Right.
Now, the lug nut is the most important part. Play your role. You
Yeah.
might not be the steering wheel. You might not be the decal on the front. You might not be the
The
engine. You might not
headlights.
be the exhaust pipes. You
Yeah.
might not be the headlights. You might
Hmm.
not be the sunroof, the panorama. You might not be the AC. But you're the lug nut, and the car needs you.
Yeah.
You're not the lead on this song. You're not the lead on this part. You are one of six, and we need you to play your role. And if you're
Hmm.
comfortable and content doing that, then that will teach you a principle that you can use for the rest of your life, and recognize the fact that, dude, it ain't all about your role. We win. If you ain't there, it's a problem. So
you pretty
that has
much,
they've not, yeah.
yeah, you pretty much answered Dorian's question because he was saying, coming from a lead singer career, what are some of the challenges of singing in a baritone part and take six with that take six sound, vibrato, breath, and blend and all that. So you kind of answered that, but feel free to add some more to that.
Yeah, as a whatever, however you want to
Right.
do that. But when you got a baritone part, you have to lock into this, not only knowing your part, but how it's supposed to sound.
Sure.
It's a totally different approach, and you got to be flexible. You got to be flexible. I can't stress enough that it's not all about you. It's not all about me. It's not all about our individuality, which is great. It's wonderful. But it's not about you in this moment. You have to be able to blend, not just your voice, but your attitude. You got to be able to blend your attitude. You got to be able to, I'll never forget, bro. We were in Europe a couple of years ago, and it was a grueling tour. Oh my gosh, that tour is grueling. It's kind of tough. I miss all the European fans. I miss you guys, man. I wish we could be there tomorrow. But hopefully we'll see you soon after this whole COVID situation is done and we good. But we were on this tour, and it was grueling. Early calls, late shows, travel show days, which means you got to get up early in the morning, go to the airport, fly to the next city, get off the airplane, go to the hotel for 10 seconds, drop your bags off, or which is worse, an hour, because you can't even get into that sleep that you want. Get back in the thing, go to the venue, do your sound check, do the show get back to the hotel around 11:30. For a 3:30 a.m. lobby call to do it all again the next day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's tough. It's real. So I happened upon this guy named T. Aaron Music on Instagram. Ty Brown at T. Aaron Music. I think it's 2 because there's other one. Bro, that music was such life to me, and I shared it with the fellas, and it changed the whole tour. You don't have to be a lead singer. Can you bring something to the table that is beneficial to the group?
Right.
Can it be an introduction to a style or da-da-da? Use whatever you have to be great for the group. What that does is it helps me to do what I can do to be great for my family. To be an incredible husband for my family, to be an incredible father for my family, to be a incredible provider for my family. These are lessons that I learned from being a part of Take Six, bro.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the day. I want to know how this went down. How did the day that whomever it was in the group that asked you, they said, "Hey, KD, we want you to be permanent in the group." Tell me that day. I want that's a story I don't know. I don't know if it's
This is a story that no one's ever asked.
Yeah.
You're the first.
Yeah.
You're the first they asked.
Yeah.
I was on the golf course in Orlando, just having a great time. I was with my pastor at the time, who was my pastor at the time. I was on the golf course, and my phone rings. And I already knew that the guys had conference calls and stuff like that or whatever. But when my phone rang, it was Claude McKnight. And so when I answered the phone, I could tell that they had just got off their conference call because both Claude and Mark were on the phone. And Claude asked me a question. He's like, KD, hey, bro, I got a question for you. I'm like, what is that? He's like, do you want to be a part of this group? And I was like, I thought I was part of this group. Thought I was already. He's like, no, do you want to be a permanent part as a member of Take Six? I was like, yeah. Now, in my brain, so many things are going through my mind in that one moment, but the truth is, yeah, I did. That the opportunity presented itself. And
sure.
Yeah. I have no idea what the conversations were, or how it even happened, or what. But it was just like when Mark called. It was another opportunity that presented itself. Like, yeah. Back up. We were in Cologne, Germany. Years before Cologne, Germany. And I had asked the guy I asked Claude specifically, if it was okay for me, my solos, a solo song. Um, Davon, anyway, I asked Claude to do a solo. This is a tough story. Um, During the show because it was, we were just doing the same show. It was 2 shows a night.
Yeah.
For those of you who go to have seen us at the Blue Note or Billboard Live
Yeah.
any of these things, any of
Yeah.
these concerts. It's the same show, and it's great because the people, as many people want to see it, they can see it, and the integrity of the show is excellent. But
Right.
we've been out here for 3 weeks. Can we, I want to change it up a little bit. And I was asked Claude, can
Right.
I do one of my solo songs during the show?
Mm-hmm.
I called this hotel room. Claude answers the phone. Well, answers me by saying, I'm not going to do an impression, but just give me some time to figure out what it is that you're asking.
Okay.
I was like, figure out what it is I'm asking. And I got in my feelings, bro. I was like, what? Figure out what I'm asking. I've been serving this group for such and such and such. And I'm trying to do something to liven up the show.
Right.
We all tired of singing the same things every day.
Right.
And you got to figure out what I'm asking. I'm upset. I got on the phone. I called a buddy of mine, and I told him about the story. I made 2 phone calls. First phone call was to a buddy of mine in L.A. And I told him about the situation. He was like, "Hey, man, they trying to hold you back, brother.
No, hell.
They trying to hold.
Put
You
that
know what I'm
thumb
saying? You know what I'm
down,
saying?
man.
This is what right? You know what I'm saying? They trying to hold you back. You want to. I'm telling you, man. Groups ain't the thing. You got to do your own thing. You talented. You can do da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, I am talented. They are holding me back. Yeah, dog it. I have a name.
Right?
I have a name, and it's not Michael Jackson. Call me Michael after the show because we're doing the Michael Jackson thing.
Yeah.
But in my heart, I knew that wasn't the right answer. I knew it wasn't the right answer. I called my dad, and my dad, of course, I refer to him again as my hero. But my dad said something to me. He was like, "Son, let me ask you a question. I hear what you're saying. Let me ask you a question. If the answer is no, would you still serve Take 6 the way that you did when you first started?" I was like, dang. So what that told me was I got beside myself.
Yeah.
And I thought it was about me. It's like, man. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Even if the answer is no, I will serve this group with the same enthusiasm, the same heart, the same passion that I did when I first started, when I first got the call. Fast forward years later, when I get the call to actually be one, I think that was one of the tests that I had to pass. And it wasn't that Claude was testing me or the group was testing me. I think God was testing me to see if I was honestly willing to put my own ambition aside to serve this group, even if it means that it's just doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing as far as singing baritone.
Yeah.
Dude, all these years later, that I got that phone call, and it was like, man, it was an honor to say yes. And even a greater honor than that was standing on that stage a couple of years ago when we were getting inducted into the Gospel Music Hall of Fame in Nashville.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there, and it's Claude, Mark, Dave, Vin, Joey, myself. I think I said somebody twice. But also Merv and Sid. And we're all standing there representing the legacy of Take 6 together, and I'm one of the dudes?
Yeah.
Bro. Nothing like it in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I saw that, and I was just like, I was just like this.
Slow clap. Let's go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I remember, I'm going to tell you something. Joey has a great reputation of being, very humble. All the guys are humble and all that stuff. And I want to tell you that I saw that same exact thing in you when you and I did that podcast. Because I just asked you the general questions and this and that and whatever, but the humility that came out of that interview, I was like, this guy's he's legit. You know what I mean? I mean, you can just see that in certain people. I'd like to think that I can read people pretty good, but in that instance, I was just like, this guy's legit. He's all right. He's a good dude. So I'm really, really happy with how, all your success and everything, which brings me to this question here.
Here we go.
Brings me to this wonderful project here. Iconic. And I want you to tell me the story of how you got to arrange Back in Love Again. and what that process was like. I want to hear this, man.
Did somebody ask you to ask me that? Because this is
I,
a
I,
great.
I will tell
That's a great
you.
question.
I will tell you exactly who wants to know that question, and I want to know it too. And it is the wonderful Sandra Hawkins.
Sandra!
Sandra Hawkins wants to know, and I want to know too. I want to see. I want to hear this story.
We are in Nashville. It's me, um, Dave, and Mark, and we're banging out these arrangements for the rest of the record and choosing songs and stuff like that or whatever. And we were behind schedule.
Mm-hmm.
We were behind schedule in such a way that there was no way that we were going to finish that week with what we needed unless somebody else stepped up to the plate. But I'm like, nah, listen, I'm not Mark Kibble. I'm not David Thomas. I'm not about to be arranging nothing.
The humility comes out yet again.
Oh, dude, no, I will play my role. I was like, huh, what part? I'll do that. But I'm not about to arrange Jack Diddley squat. I'll go get you I'll go get you some 5-hour energy. Yeah. I'll go get you some cashews and peanuts and whatever else Whole Foods got. But man, Mark looks at me late. It was late one night, and he was like, "Bro, we're gonna need you to do a song." I was like, "What you mean, like sing a lead part?" I mean, like no, we need you to do a song. We need you to you need to you got in on this. And I asked him because "Back in Love" was on the list originally of songs that we were thinking about doing, but one of the guys who shall remain nameless strongly disagreed with us doing that song.
Okay.
And this is when we had the conversation. It's the conversations putting the list together in LA. Mm-hmm. So Mark says, "I need you to do a song," and I asked him. I was like, "Can it be Back in Love?" And at this point, see, here you got to know when to play your cards. You got to know when to hold them.
Mr. Kenny Rogers,
know when to fold them. Rest in peace, Kenny.
That's it.
Know when to walk away. Know when to run.
Yeah.
So I played my cards, and I was like, because I really, really wanted to do Back in Love. I really wanted that song to be on. So I asked him, "Can it be Back in Love?" And at that point, it was so late. Mm-hmm. We were so behind that the answer was almost an automatic yes. So I was like, sweet. Now, Joey Kibble is a diehard Whole Foods guy.
Okay.
So while everybody else is usually doing the 5-hour energy, Joey has this thing 365. I don't even know the name of it. It's 365. I don't whatever.
Okay.
So it's an energy drink, and so I asked Joey. I'm talking about 5-hour energy or whatever. He was like, "Nah, you should try the all natural one from Whole Foods or whatever." Dude, I took half of that thing, and when I tell you, this is before I left the studio that night to go back to the hotel. Me and Dave together. I went back to the hotel that night. It was super late, probably like 1 a.m. Mm-hmm. I did not sleep. I couldn't. I was like,
yeah.
I called my boy Ty Brown because by that time, TRM Music that I was referring to earlier, we had formed a really great relationship. I hit him up and I was like, "Dude, I gotta arrange this song for Take 6 tonight, and I need you to help me with the intro." I kind of wanted to go whatever how the intro went or whatever. So I sent it to him. And dude, I did not sleep that entire night. I finished that whole entire arrangement that night at the hotel.
Dude, that's
and I'll show you the keyboard I was using. I have my laptop.
Let's see it. Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
What is it? A little Casio? A little old thing? A little Casio?
With a broken key.
Yeah. And you still did it.
Broken key. Me and this little joker right here was up all night long. And when I tell you, dude, I was so hyped about that when we came in the next morning. I didn't even play it for Dave on the way to the house. I was like, "Hey, I got something for you. Hey, I got something for you." I get to that doggone studio. We hit the play button, and the guys were like, "My man."
Yeah.
My man. And anytime we say "my man" to each other, that's the seal of approval, bro. So I got my man. And then Mark said to me when they were mixing, we were mixing with our wonderful engineer, Marcelo Pennell. Love that dude. Mm-hmm. He said, "We have to make this the first song because nothing else can really come behind this." I was like, Well, that can't come behind anything else. So it can't put anything. So making it the first song,
Right, right.
it is my first time arranging it.
Yeah.
Oh, bro,
No,
dude,
it's fantastic. It's one of the
'cause I love you, baby.
yeah, no,
Hey,
that song is unbelievable, man. It's that's great, man. I'm
I appreciate
I,
that, brother.
again proud of you, bro, because that's
Man,
like
thank you, man.
that story is unbelievable, man. So one night,
One night,
and you
one
did
night,
that song.
having never arranged a Take Six song ever in my life, I was nervous, but boy, that 365 was kicking it. Boy, I was like,
So
hey.
you got to thank Joey now too.
Gotta thank Joey. Joey Kibble, man, came through with a 365, boy.
If you guys don't
But
have
yeah,
this, if you guys don't have this album, you need to go get this. This is great. And I hate the fact
love
that
that.
Instagram, does this whole reverse thing. But I promise you, it says iconic here. I swear to
It
God,
says iconic. It
it
says
does.
kind.
So, hey, can you, by any chance, for the next album, can you push the guys to like put pictures of themselves on this thing? Because like,
You know what?
look, there's no
I didn't even
pictures.
notice that.
Yeah,
But remember, I told you we were behind schedule.
yeah,
We
true.
had to kick that thing out. We was like, I didn't know what they look like. God dog it. But we did a
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
We did
No,
a
no, you got
video.
the video. You got the video. Oh, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is a signed copy by all the members right there, including Mr.
Right.
Khristian Dentley right there. Yes, sir.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
Oh man, this is great. Let's see. What else we got?
What do we got? What do we got?
Let me see. What's that? Okay. Yeah. We already answered that one. First joint takes it. Speaking of that, we talked about that already. Sandra says you play the piano beautifully. What was your formal training? I think you already mentioned, man. You play by ear.
Yeah. My
That's
dad came in my room and put he gave me a little Casio keyboard. The first one I destroyed it because I didn't
yeah.
it wasn't. But then he bought me a second one and that one had the demo button on it. And I was like, oh, it played some cool songs like
Right.
it played Peg, it played all kinds of stuff. But that it just started. I started to organically love and appreciate music, and so he brought a CD player in my room one day, and I had my Casio there, and he had a song already queued up. He was like, "Play this." It wasn't a CD player; it was a tape player.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "When I come back, I want you to be able to play some of this." And I just had to keep hitting rewind and play, and just figure out
Where those notes were. Yeah.
and by the time he came back, he just like Mark and just like you saw something in me, and he was the first one to see it. And it's funny because now I'm literally in the position that my dad was in, so I'm going to be doing that same thing for my son. I'm taking one of my keyboards and putting it in his room with some headphones, and because now he's organically taken a liking to production.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's 10. And so who knows? I mean, I'm not putting any pressure on him you got to do this, you got to play this, you got to follow in my footsteps. I paved the way for you, son.
Yeah.
Well, you better get your grades right. That's all I know. You get some good
Right.
grades and be still, obedient and all this other kind of stuff. And that's cool. If music happens, music happens. But most importantly, I want you to be a good guy, a good man, a good solid dude, a great friend that turns into a great employee, that turns into a great boyfriend, that turns into a great husband, that turns into a great dad, just period.
Yeah.
So that's the most important. So, but I'm actually going to start pushing him in that direction because organically he's showing signs that he's budding in that
He can
direction.
pick it up. Yeah.
But yeah, no formal training for me, but I think I would love to have him formally trained because there's so many more advantages to having the formal training and the ear. I thought you had to sacrifice one for the other, and you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wish my mom would have forced me when I was a little kid to learn the piano because it's my favorite instrument. And the story is that when I was about 5, she took me to my first lesson. And then when I came back, she was like, "Okay, so what'd you think?" And I was like, "No, I didn't like it. I hated it, right?" And then so she says, "Well, let's go one more time." Went back again. "No, I hated it," and she didn't make me go. And now I wish I could play because I love that. I love that instrument.
It's beautiful.
So tell me about your setup at home, because I know that you guys, all of you guys, you know, you sometimes, you know, you record a lot of stuff, you know, separately and things like that. You know, what's that setup like at your house? What do you got going on over there?
So I do a lot of production, a lot of music production and
Hmm.
writing and stuff like that. So I just kind of it's junky in here,
And
but
some,
I'll show you.
well, you do some editing too, because we were talking the other day,
Yeah.
and you were
Oh,
saying,
of course.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. I do a lot of editing, not just music editing, but video editing as
yeah,
well. So,
right.
like, I'm actually here's a sneak peek.
Tell me.
Well, I'm actually doing some editing for a Take Six video right now. We're gonna drop it soon. We're gonna drop it soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's coming, man. I know it's hard out there for these fans, man. We try to keep it live, baby.
Dude,
But
listen, we're starving for new content, man. You know, that's the whole reason for this that we're doing here. You know, these sessions.
appreciate
You
that.
know, because everyone's bored. Everyone's, you know, no one's got anything to do and nothing to see. So I'm like, well, let me see if the guys will do this for me. And here we are.
And absolutely, here we are. So here's my setup.
Yeah.
Sorry. Two keyboards here. That's the Roland. That's actually the Phantom X7, which is my dad's keyboard. And I talked to him. He was going to sell it, but I kind of talked him into letting me just use it.
Just borrow it. Yeah.
Yeah, borrowed it. And
Yeah.
so I already know indefinitely this is in the family for perpetuity, in perpetuity. So
Right.
this is my a gift from a friend of mine, Tom Gonzalez, who gave me this motif XS8. He actually gave me a second two. This is the second keyboard that he gave me. These speakers were a gift years and years and years ago, probably 2006,
Mm-hmm.
or actually before that, probably from a friend of mine from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Debbie Leakey, and it's studio some M Audio studio files, which is great.
Yeah.
This microphone is very special to me, and this is why. If you can see, you probably can't see. Sorry. But if you could see right here, wherever my finger is, I can't find my finger. Oh, can you see
Okay.
what that says?
Not V. It's reverse, so I can't really tell.
Do it backwards. It's three letters.
It says V. I can't see it. What's it say?
VIN. Vin.
Oh, what?
That's,
Okay.
this was Vinny Chia's Take Six microphone.
Oh man.
And when I tell you, that's the Sony G800, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing microphone, and it's a lot of money. I'll say it like that. Look it
Yeah.
up. Google that mug. You see how much it is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I was believing God for one, man, honestly, and I really wanted one, but I didn't have the such and such and such and such and such and such $1,000 to get it at the time. And we were getting ready to do the Fred Hammond tour, the FOP tour a couple of years ago, and I was talking to Vin. I was like, man, that's on my list. That's on my wish list. He was like, oh, I'll send you the one that I have, because I got this other mic that I use. I don't even use it anymore. I was like,
Oh
what?
wow.
I'm sorry. What did you just say to me? What did you just say to me? And he was like, oh, you can use that one, dude. When we went to he took a break from the tour. He went to the crib, brought that mug back, and
That's where it's at.
So far, everything that I've shown you, I've bought none of this. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I
haven't bought any.
I gotta get some of your friends. You know.
The favor of God. All right. So this.
He said the favor of God.
This is the microphone preamp that I use. That is the Avalon 737 SP.
Mm-hmm.
That was a gift from the same guy that got me the keyboard, Tom Gonzalez. So that, because I told him, it's another guy that believed in me, and he was like, what do you need? I was like, I need a microphone preamp, man, because I got to, and so that is what he gave me. This here is the API 3124, which is really, really awesome. The black thing right here. Mm-hmm. That's another great preamp, and that actually belongs to William McDowell. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with the name William McDowell, but he's the guy that sang that song, I Give Myself Away. He's a gospel a praise and worship artist.
I'm sure some of our viewers might know.
Oh, yeah. He did I Won't Go Back, Can't Go Back, which I sang on all of those. But so he owned a studio that this is another cool story, bro. living in Orlando. He lives in Orlando as well, and he had a studio that was near Full Sail, so it's a college of musical, production entertainment college here or university here in Orlando. So he owned the studio, but he was his solo career was like going through the roof. It was called Delivery Room Studios, which I think that's cool. Delivery Room.
Yeah.
And he says to me, "Hey, I need to talk to you. Can you come over to the studio?" I was like, "Sure." Drove over to the studio. He hands me a key to the studio, and he says, "I'm traveling too much to manage the studio and things here. And I've seen your heart, I've seen your integrity, whatever, and I want you to be my studio manager. That means that you can use it anytime you want.
Okay.
You can, if you want to charge people for studio hours or whatever, you don't have to pay me anything. You run the studio, and I just need to, like, when I need to get in, I just need to be able to block that time." I was like, absolutely. So I had access to everything. Beautiful Yamaha. It was just great.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing. And so again, that was another opportunity for me to be faithful over that which belongs to somebody else. It's not mine, it's his.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't be like, "Yeah, yo, come through and bring some chicken wings, dog."
Right,
no.
right. No.
I got to make sure the place is clean. I got to make sure that if he walks in the middle of a session, I ain't got nobody in there that smells, "Hey, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, everybody get this,
Yeah.
women everywhere, put a jacuzzi in the back, for the, no. Yeah. I want to make sure that I
happens
take
at
care
your
of it
house,
because,
but yeah, we'll talk about that.
yeah, well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
My wife came in earlier and told me dinner was ready. I was like, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Oh,
yes,
man.
it is ready. Okay, so now let me get to the very first thing that I bought. This is a preamp that actually says, you can't read it, but right here it says Dentley Boy PH 818. What the PH means, production house. So Dentley Boy Production House. That's a custom made amp that has like Neve preamps in it and stuff.
Okay.
And it's just really cool, and a couple of other things. My little Fast Track Ultra, which I got to get rid of that. Pray that my stocks go up so I can get me another interface. But yeah, that's it. And if you notice, I don't have like a computer here, but this is my laptop that I actually do my recording on, and also my son's homework. And now, yeah, but that's it. That's just all I use right here. I mean, it's just a very small setup, and it gives me. Now, I will say this. I'll show you the utility room, and it's not a big place, dude.
You got to power all this stuff.
Yeah, no. It's not even for power. It's just like my junk drawer.
Oh,
so
dude, okay.
I got a couple of keyboards here. But this is a drum set, full drum set that I actually bought when I owned. When I didn't own, but when I was doing the studio for William.
Okay.
He didn't have a drum set, and so I wanted to make sure that people were able to come and do drum sessions and stuff if they needed to. So I went and I bought a drum kit. And so I still have that here. Gotta have my tambourine. Mm-hmm. Funny story. We had worship. I mean, Easter was this past Sunday, and we're not able to like go to church. So
right.
We were watching the service online, and I ran upstairs and grabbed my tambourine and ran back downstairs. So I'm in my drawers with my tambourine, get my Easter praise on. Yeah, man. This is life for me. This is not just. I mean, what you see is literally what you get. I try to be as genuine as possible. And the guy, I'm just a little dude from South Carolina. I don't have. It's not a lot of flash. Not a lot of anything, but a lot of heart, bro. That's it.
And and that just shows it's a perfect fit, because the rest of the guys, they're the same way, you know what I mean? I tell you, when I first got to actually talk to the guys was early. It was oh man, I see the picture in my head, but I can't remember the year that we actually just got to talking, and even then I was still a little awestruck because, these guys, Grammys and TV and movies and everything, and you're like, oh God. But, you start talking to them and it's just regular dudes, that just happen to be more talented than the rest of us, but still, but it's just that, that's just that genuine thing, that just comes out of everybody, and, you're the exact same way. You know what I mean? So
Man, man, I appreciate you for saying
it's
that, man.
good, man. It's been really good, and I'm super excited. To see what comes next. Because I know you
Yeah,
guys are working on a couple little things here and there.
yeah.
And I think Claude's going to come on here next week, and hopefully
Hey,
he'll give us the exclusive and let us know exactly what's
the
going
old
on.
man. You have
But
to speak loud for him. No, I was just kidding. I was just kidding.
speaking of which,
We
what?
have a question from. No, I was kidding.
No, I want to know what do you because I know you guys are all sworn to secrecy and everything's all timed and whatever, but can you give us a little nugget, a little Take Six nugget? What are you free to divulge at this point as far as any kind of
Um,
future plans?
Here's what I will say. One of the things that this quarantine season has done for us, it's reminded us that we are not the glass of water. We're the well. Um, there's a lot of people who depend on other people to write for them. They depend on a lot of other people to produce for them, and that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know where your strengths and your weaknesses are, and you got to play to your strengths and suss out or delegate your weaknesses, and that's really cool. But we are a group that is really self-contained, that can be self-contained, but also have a lot of connections with a lot of really powerful people.
Right.
So, um, one of the things that again this season is doing is making us it's causing us to depend on that well that we are for content
Mm-hmm.
and depend on our relationships to do some really big things. So um uh one thing I don't even know if I could say because I mean we already did it, but
Well, I don't want to get you in trouble, so it's
yeah,
okay.
don't get me in trouble,
I'll
but it's
wait.
just some cool
We'll wait.
collabs coming down the
All right.
pipes.
Well, how about this then? What are you working
Yes,
on individually that you want to let everybody know about?
my garden.
Your garden.
I'm working on my garden.
My
Planted a
wife wants
garden
to start
for
doing that too when we buy the new house. She wants to start a garden as well.
starting the garden
Yeah.
and working on that. And honestly, bro, and this is not just saying this because I'm on the live, but I'm honestly working on being just a present husband and father in this season. And I want to, but see, it's not. I don't want it just to be the season. I want it to be stuff that I make a part of my character,
Right.
so that even after this is done, I don't get just like back the economy's back open. I'm gone. Bye.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. No, I definitely think that this is making everybody think and everybody kind of slow down, which is great. It's nice when I go for a walk with my dog and I see whole families riding their bikes down the street. It's like, oh, look at
crazy,
that,
right?
look at that, and
Dude, the
nobody was
80s
doing
called and
that.
said, "You're welcome."
Yeah, yeah. Nobody was doing that a month ago. Everybody was all in their house like this.
Let me tell you something my wife and I have done for the past, I don't know if we're going to do it tomorrow, but we did it for the past 2 weeks because God has been really faithful to us, man. Really blessed, has really blessed our family. So we decided, this is 2 Fridays ago. I was like, you know what? Let's go to Sam's and just buy up a whole bunch of burgers and hot dogs and so like let's grill. I love grilling,
Hmm.
so let's put the grill out, take it out around to the front of the house or whatever, and just grill for everybody in the neighborhood. Whoever wants to come and just get something to eat, just come and get something to eat. Dude, I was out there and I loved every car stopping and like, what you guys doing? This one dude that doesn't even live in the neighborhood was like, oh, you guys selling food? I was like, to you, I am. No, I didn't say that.
No, he wasn't.
I said, do you live here? He was
Yeah,
like, no, I live in the other. I was like, you don't even live here. What you want? So I got him. I'd like to have a burger. He
yeah,
couldn't even ask for a hot dog. He wanted a burger. But anyways, got him, gave him his
yeah.
burger. Then he came back with 3 more friends and wanted some more stuff.
Oh,
I'm like, but hey, we had it to do and we gave. So that was 2 weeks ago. Did the same
yeah.
thing last week Friday, and just same thing.
Mhm.
Being a blessing in this time, man, is it's a big deal, bro. It's a really really big deal to
I
me in my
saw I
heart, and I love that.
I saw that video that you did when you were standing out in front of Sam's, and this dude came by and was trying to sell some stuff to everybody, and you were like, "It's over at Publix at 7 o'clock in the morning."
7 a.m. Go to Publix and get it.
That was
And
great.
man, and I literally, I'm a thinker.
Yeah.
So when I saw him, I'm a seer and I'm a thinker. When I saw him get out his car and I saw him with that cart, and when he put the sign on, I'm like, mm-hmm. Then I saw him putting the toilet tissue from his back seat into the.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, no. And I'm like, am I going to say something? Am I going to say something? Whatever. And before I knew it, I had my camera out. And like, look at this foolishness.
Yeah.
And I was at first it was just going to be just, just a little
You
video
just
that
talking to Instagram.
yeah. But the closer he got to me, I was like, no, this is uncool. You can get it from Publix, 7 o'clock. And it's a whole lot less than $5 a roll,
Right.
trust me, or $3 a roll, whatever it is. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
And after it was all done, like I said, I'm a thinker. After it was all done, I was like, man, I should have said, "Get him!"
So you yell, "Get him!" and then cut the video off.
Exactly. Bust you over the head and give your tissue out, doggone it.
Right.
But it's cool because right after that, they started cracking down on being able to take things back to the store. So now he got all this toilet tissue in his crib. I hope he drinks a lot of water.
Yeah, I hope he needs it.
Yeah, because.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So that.
Well, listen, Khristian, thank you so much. This is.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
You can't get off that early.
Okay.
You can't get off that easy.
All right.
One question for you before we roll out. What is the hardest thing about being a Take 6 fan?
That I don't get content as fast as I want it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
No,
it's all about you, isn't it? It's all about you.
It is. It is about me because I'm willing to pay. I got all the albums up there, man. I'm pay. I give money. I don't care. Just give it to me. I want CDs. I want DVDs. I want movies. I want digital downloads. I want all of it. I can't get it, so I have to create it myself. Look, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, live on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that honesty, man. And from my heart to you and to the entire Take 6 universe, man, I really, really appreciate you guys. It is not every day that you are loved and valued and appreciated for what you bring to this earth, the gift that you bring. A lot of people go unnoticed. A lot of people, they do their thing and nobody says anything. We have a group of people that are dedicated to us, even when you guys kind of go in on us a little bit. It's like, but it's love. And that's what it's all love, man. It's like, dude, I want more. I want more. Don't just leave us out here hanging, man. You can do, what y'all doing.
It really is.
We out here buying toilet tissue is what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I understand what you're saying there too, because, the Take 6 universe and even back in the message board days before your time, people can get into some conversations, but it's, for instance, I'll give you an example, right? There's always this always pops up every now and then where somebody comes on there looking for a conversation and they'll say, "Hey everyone, what's your least favorite Take 6 album?" Right? Of course, that's not out of malice. But it's like, okay, well, we've talked about everything else that's sunshine and rainbows. So, what do you think is your least favorite? What do you So I understand.
Just trying to keep the community engaged. Really.
Yeah, something. It's like, oh, let's start with some controversy, but it's not really controversy. It's just like, brothers, I didn't like it. What can I tell you? It's like, it is what it is.
Y'all didn't like the Brothers record?
And I'll tell you what it was. It was that we weren't used to a departure, as a departure of how, because it went like really R&B and whatever, and that was it for the time, and the diehards weren't used to that. They were like, oh, where's I want acapella, I want this, that, whatever. But hey, the saving grace is that album won a Grammy. Can't say
that's not the saving grace. That's not the saving grace.
Well,
do you have that record? Do you have that record back there?
Yeah.
Go grab it. Grab it right now. We're going to talk about this, man. Live right here. We're going to put this to bed right now.
We're going to talk about it? All right. Hold on.
We're going to talk about this. Get that Brothers record.
Hold on.
I wasn't even in the group then. We're going to talk about this right now, universe.
I got to find it. Here we go. Right here.
All right. Now,
and look,
what I want you to do.
Promotion.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Promo.
Oh, well.
Okay.
They gave it to you for free and you talked about it, huh?
No.
They gave it to you for free and you got something to say?
I'm
just kidding.
I had to buy this because my other one, somebody stole it. So
I'm just kidding. So it was good enough for somebody to steal, but no, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Let's do this. Flip it on the back and read to me one by one the song list.
The song list? Okay, let's see.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Chance of a Lifetime.
Okay.
Can't stop. Yeah, can't stop thinking about you. Jesus makes me happy. We don't have to cry.
Stop,
We don't have to cry. What about it? That's a great song.
bro.
I love it when you guys do it live. I love that song.
Bro.
I love
Even
that song.
on the record, that We Don't Have to Cry is
Yeah,
a work of art.
yeah. Brian
Continue.
McKnight
We'll
wrote
get to
that, or did he produce
continue.
it? Did he
I
produce
think
it?
he did both. I think he produced the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
record.
yeah, yeah. And Do Right. I like that song, Do Right. You know.
You got to do right,
Yeah,
do right,
yeah.
do
Don't
right.
let
Go ahead.
go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, there's listen. Like I
Keep going.
said,
I just want to get to the end of it. I just want to
yeah,
call them all out. Just like
yeah. The thing about, like I said, the thing about that album is that it was such a huge departure from what we were used to before, and
it was a
everybody just
sudden change.
was just like, what's going on here? What is it? You know? So
So
I
let me
would
ask you
love,
this then.
yeah.
Um,
But I'm
was
not saying I hate it.
was
I'm just saying
no, no,
that.
no, I'm not. Yeah, 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 and that's cool. That's cool. I'm not putting you on the hot seat, man.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. But what about Join the Band? Because Join the Band was a huge departure from what everybody was used to as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, it
Did that
was,
feel different?
but Nathan will come on here and tell you that is the greatest Take Six album ever. You know, and that album contains my favorite Take Six song of all time, which, can you guess what it is? Can all of you, anyone out there, guess what it is? It's I Got Life.
Oh, really?
That's my favorite song.
Wow. I think mine is on that record too. My favorite Take Six songs on that record too.
Yeah, and
You won't be able to guess it. Maybe maybe you can guess it.
I
No, you
have to
can't.
go get it from over there to kind of read them
No,
off,
it's
but no.
when I feel a summer breeze.
Yeah,
And I hear why I feel this way. I told
yeah,
Mark recently, bro, that is my favorite Take Six song. He wrote the heck out of that song, bro.
yeah.
Well, it causes my heart to fly, flying like an eagle through the sky. And
You
I
get a bunch of
know,
hearts
sing it,
over there
man,
too.
sing it.
Yeah, I could see the hearts coming. Everybody's like,
Your
oh,
love is why I feel this
yeah.
way.
Look at them all.
Beauty in this world. Come on, man. I love this. Often hard to see. Dude, expounding little things close. Anyway,
Yeah,
that record, it was a departure from what we're used to. Here's the thing. We have to be able, and I'm not defending or I'm not talking about you
the word
guys
is
or whatever,
grow.
because I appreciate the conversation.
Hmm.
But we have to be able to give the artists that we love the freedom to expand.
Sure. Oh yeah,
We
yeah.
have
Of
to. We
course.
have to. And it's okay to be it's okay to not like it or whatever. I think that sometimes it when you put your blood, sweat, and tears, no matter what Take Six does, we're putting our heart into what we do. And if we
Right.
present that, it's something that we it's like going in the kitchen and making a meal for your family, and you looked up the recipe and nope, you've never made this before, whatever. And when you give it to them or whatever, they're like, I mean, is there any salt left in the city?
Yeah.
God, my God, what's the worst meal you ever had at this house? This one.
This one.
Ugh. Yeah, it's like, and then so you got because you did it with all of your heart. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
Okay, we might not ever do that again, but it's just how it hits.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's just, and that's cool. But that allows growth for both sides. That allows
Yeah.
us to be able to say, hey, man, not everything that we do is going to be loved and heralded by the people. It's okay. Some actors make horrible movies.
Mm-hmm.
But that don't mean they didn't spend the 6 months learning their script and all of that. But the movie sucked.
Right.
I do not have to like every movie that Denzel does.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have to. You do not have to like every record that Take Six does. And we all should be able to say, yeah, that wasn't my favorite. But hey, this one right here, that's hot. Yeah. And I think that's cool. I love having the conversation. In fact, that's just my nature. I love getting to finding the commonality. Even though Brothers may not be the favorite, there are some songs on there like that. We Don't Have to Cry is such a fantastic song. It's like, all right, so which is your worst kid? Which kid do you wish you never had?
Right.
But it's like, how do you even? My God, man.
Yeah.
So if you had to choose, which is your ugliest child? I'm sorry, what? You know, but
Yeah.
that same child that might be butt ugly in the face has a something, a measure of love that your heart did not know before that child existed.
Right.
So
Right.
it's the same thing with brothers or anything else we do. The next thing we do might suck, but I hope there'll be a measure of something in there that didn't exist before we did it, and we can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Or just go back to the other ones.
I get back to the old ones. Jeez. Oh man. Well, listen. I before this thing cuts us off, I want to say thank you so much for being with us tonight. This has been a huge treat. Parting words for the Take Six universe before we sign off.
Before we sign off, parting words. I'm glad you to honor that request. Parting words is this: hey man, the whole world is in shock right now. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of hurting people. There are a lot of people that scroll all day, every day, just to escape the fact that this is what it is. The people today